Today we are talking about ISO and how we can use it to better our photography. Let's get back to basics. What is up? My name is Micah McNair. I am a photographer, filmmaker based here in Nashville, Tennessee, and my channel is all about helping you become a better and more knowledgeable photographer. We don't worry about the nuts and bolts because getting you taking better photos faster is what I'm all about. Today we are talking about ISO. ISO is one of the things you need to know about to get a good exposure. I'll put in the cards a video I did earlier on the basics of exposure, and that's a great place to start. So what is ISO? ISO is the sensitivity your sensor or film has to the light around it. ISO can range from 100 to sometimes even over 25,000, just depending on your camera. Just to give you a brief overview, the number you use for your ISO is going to depend on how bright or dark your subject or area is. So if your subject or area is dark, you're going to want to use a higher ISO. The higher your ISO, the more noise or grain you could be introducing into your image. Also, there's a loss of color accuracy and dynamic range when using these higher ISOs. So you're probably thinking, well, why can't I just use a low ISO all the time so I don't get that noise or that grain? And you very well could. If you're in a studio setting where you're the one able to create the light, a lot of the times the light is one of the variables we're not able to control. And at that point, you need to be able to fluctuate between those ISOs. So you want to know how to use your camera's ISO to best fit your image. The good news is these digital cameras and digital sensors are getting better and better at reducing the amount of noise or grain that's introduced at higher ISOs. Okay, let's jump into some examples. I'm going to shoot here at 100 ISO, and then I'm going to shoot at 3200 ISO, and then I'm going to shoot at 25,600 ISO, and that's going to give us a lot to look at and compare when it comes to how much noise and grain is introduced into the image. So let's shoot at 100 ISO. As you can see, it's a very clean image with little to no noise introduced. Now let's shoot at 3200 ISO and we'll see how that looks. Now you'll see here that there's not a ton of noise that's been introduced, but the color is not quite as accurate and the dynamic range is starting to kind of go away. Okay, now I'm going to shoot at 25,600 ISO. More than likely you are not going to need to shoot at this high of an ISO, but I'm all about comparison and looking at the differences, so let's check it out. Okay, so as you can see, there has been a ton of noise introduced into this image, and the colors are not accurate, and the dynamic range has been all messed up. So, like I said, you're probably not going to need to shoot at that high of an ISO, but it's nice to know that it's always there just in case. Alright, well that's it for today, and I know these basics videos are pretty short, but look, you're not going to become a better photographer by watching videos on YouTube. You're going to become a better photographer by getting out and shooting, by learning your camera and learning how light works and learning what settings to use in specific times. So make sure to subscribe, like this video, and comment below any topics you'd like me to touch on in the next videos, and we'll see you in the next one.